Hey guys, I thought that you might be missing the space a little bit, so I thought I would record this little video with a little video of me in it too, because I also did my hair today for nothing other than sitting in this room, but that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain the characters. There are a lot of them, and it can get super confusing if you're not following along and you don't know what's going on. And since we're not in class for us to have discussions and make connections and for you to see bulletin boards, we have a PowerPoint that we've made. And I'm going to explain the PowerPoint and the characters in this little video, but then the PowerPoint itself is also going to be in this file so that you'll be able to refer back to it when you need to learn more about the characters. So let's get me back up into the corner here. Okay, our first character is Otis Amber. He is a 62-year-old delivery boy. He's the one who delivered all of the letters to the possible tenants of Sunset Towers. He rides around on a bike. He wears an aviator's hat, which that picture there, I know these little pictures are a little ridiculous, but I didn't want to just put random pictures up there. Anyway, his hat is supposed to be an aviator's hat, which has like the leather flaps that hang down if you think about like old pilots and kind of like what they would wear. So when he rides his bike, they flap up in the wind. He loves to gossip, always has a little bit of information to share with everybody. In fact, he was part of the conversation, I believe, which made Turtle want to go up into the Westing Mansion on that bet. So he does have an important role, and as you're going to find out in this week's chapters, he is one of the heirs. Okay, our next character is Turtle Wexler. Now, this little picture has her with two braids. I believe she just has one braid down the back of her head. She is 13, and she is the daughter of Jake and Grace Wexler, sister of Angela, so she's the younger sister. She's very smart. She's got a talent in the stock market. Her mother does not enjoy her as much as she enjoys her sister Angela. So her mom isn't really nice to her at all. It's almost like she's an afterthought, which is kind of rude. When they were moving in there, they had that really tiny bedroom that was like a closet, and she's like, "Oh, it'll be fine for Turtle." And Turtle knows that her mother is not her biggest fan. If you touch her braid, she will kick you in the shins. Now, remember, shin is the front of your calf, the front of your leg. So if you've ever fallen walking up the stairs and you bump your shin, it really hurts. She kicks you if you touch her braid. She was the one that dressed up like a witch and went into the Westing house on a dare to earn money. So she was the one that actually saw Sam Westing dead in bed, but nobody knows that except for the people that she was with. And she is also one of the heirs. Now, the next one is Grace Windsor Wexler. She is 42. She's married to Jake. I'm not really sure she looks like this, but this lady kind of looked like she was a hoity-toity. She is over involved in everything with her children's lives. Angela is her favorite daughter, but she is the mother of Turtle also. She thinks she is a decorator, but we're not really sure what her job is. She really just wants to impress everybody. So that's why she wanted to get this apartment, because wouldn't her friends be so impressed, and she would get stationery, and she's just really wants to impress everyone. She really loves talking about Angela's upcoming wedding. Angela is going to marry D. Denton Deer, who is an internist, which we'll learn about in a minute. But she just loves to talk about it, and it's just such a big part of her life. She is also an heir. Now, Jake Wexler, I don't really know if this is what he looks like, but he is 45, and he is Grace's husband and the father of Angela and Turtle. He is a podiatrist, which is a foot doctor. So in one of the earlier chapters, he was cutting out a corn on Bertha's foot. So he has his office right there in Sunset Towers. He is also a bookie. So a bookie is someone who organizes illegal gambling and takes money and pays out bets. Now, we don't know that yet in the story. You're going to find it out soon. But that's kind of why in one of the chapters he said, "Oh yeah, an emergency Packers game," meaning that he had to go and like take bets on it. He kind of just thinks his wife's ridiculous, and he just kind of goes with the flow. He is also an heir. Next one is Angela Wexler. She is 20, daughter of Jake and Grace, Turtle's beautiful older sister. But she's real shy and quiet, and you learn more about that in the upcoming chapters. She's engaged to Denton Deer, but we kind of feel like she's lost, like she doesn't really know who she is or what she's supposed to be doing. And a lot of decisions are just made for her. And at this point, she's just like, I don't even know. I guess I'm just going to go with it. She ends up also being one of the heirs. The next one is Sidel Pulaski. I don't know if she looks like this or not, but she's 50. She's not married. She is a secretary in a sausage company. Just seems very interesting. She fakes an injury to get attention, like she really wants people to pay attention to her, and you can kind of see that in even the first couple chapters. And she ends up being partnered with Angela, and you'll find that out in this week's chapters. And she becomes really close with her, but she really wants attention. She fakes the injury. She limps with the wrong leg. She's fairly ridiculous. She's also the one who writes down the will in her shorthand notebook. So shorthand is a way that in the past, people don't really do it anymore, where you write almost in like a notes kind of code, where unless you can read shorthand, it doesn't really help you. But it's a quick way to write. So she, as the secretary, so she took the shorthand notes of the will. So she's the only one that will have a copy of the will. The next one is Sandy McSuthers. Again, I don't know if he looks like this or not, but he is Scottish, I believe. Sandy stands for Alexander. He's a doorman at Sunset Towers, and he's kind of in everybody's business, but not in a bad way. Like, he's just a kind man, and everybody kind of likes him. He does what he can to help people. And he knows everything that's going on in Sunset Towers because he's the doorman, so he knows when people come and go. He is also an heir. Now, James Shin Hu is age 50. He's married to Madam Hu, but Madam Hu is not his first wife. He is the father of Doug Hu is a track star. He owns Hu's Chinese restaurant, which is on the top floor of Sunset Towers. He's constantly trying to get people to go there, but no one does for some reason. He has a stomach ulcer from stress. I think that the failing business and some other things might be leading to that. He's pretty cranky. He's really hard on his son, and he's very competitive. Next is Doug Hu. He's 18. He's a high school track star. He's a senior. He's the son of James Shin Hu, but he is not Madam Hu's son. He is the son of James Shin Hu's first wife, which I don't think we learned anything about for a while. He does not like getting kicked by Turtle. He also thinks Turtle has a crush on him. And he is best friends with Theo Theodorakis. He's the one that goes to the Westinghouse with Turtle on the bet because he was the fastest. Next is Madam Hu. She's 28. Now you'll notice that there is quite an age difference between her and Mr. Hu. Her name is Sun Lin Hu. She is his second wife. She's from China, and she's one of the cooks in the restaurant. She speaks very little English, and she really wants to go back to China. She does not want to be here, and she pretty much will do anything to get money to do that. You learn more about that after chapter 8, so it's kind of giving you a spoiler alert here, but she definitely is not happy where she is. Next, we have Theo Theodorakis. He is 17. George and Catherine Theodorakis' son. Now, George and Catherine Theodorakis are not really in the book very much. They're not heirs, but they are the parents of Chris and Theo. So Theo is Chris's older brother. He wants to be a writer, and that's one of the ways that he helps his brother out is by telling him stories, and Chris thinks the world of him. And Theo pretty much is Chris's main caregiver. And that's something that I think he resents a little bit. He works at the family coffee shop, which is on the first floor of Sunset Towers. Next, we have Chris Theodorakis. He is 15, which means he's probably like a freshman. sophomore, depending on when he was born. He's the son of George and Catherine, younger brother of Theo, and he's in a wheelchair because he has some sort of nerve disorder, which makes him kind of jolty and jittery and makes it difficult for him to speak. He's not stupid. He's very intelligent, but he just can't express what he wants to say, and he can't do things for himself. So his brother Theo ends up having to take care of him. He's also an amateur bird watcher, so he's always looking out the window. He ends up seeing someone limping into the Westing house. The next one is Flora Bombeck. She is 60. She's a dressmaker. She's the one actually making Angela's wedding dress. She's not married currently, and she becomes kind of a mother figure for her partner, which is Turtle. Spoiler alert. You find that out this week. She's really lovely and kind of just wants everyone to be happy. Real quiet woman. The next is Bertha Erica Crow. This picture is absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure Crow has a bun and not crazy red hair, but I think that plays a role in part of the story. She's 57 and she is very religious. She's constantly quoting the Bible. She's a cleaning woman in Sunset Towers. She spends a lot of her life praying for forgiveness for something she's done in the past, and she volunteers at a soup kitchen serving food to the homeless, actually with Otis Amber. The next is Judge J.J. Ford. She's 42, not married. She's a local judge in the appellate court. Actually the first African-American judge in the appellate court. And we find out later, is the daughter of one of Sam Westing's servants. So that is kind of how there is a connection there. She holds her cards real close, meaning that she doesn't really tell a lot about herself, and she really just feels like Sam Westing is out to get her. Next is Denton Deer. He's 25. He is engaged to Angela Wexler, and he's a plastic surgery intern, and he just kind of wants to impress her with his knowledge. So he's always saying what something is. And Mrs. Wexler, Grace Wexler, really, really likes him. Now, George Theodorakis is married to Catherine, father of Chris and Theo, owns the coffee shop. He's not an heir. Catherine is married to George, mother of Chris and Theo, also not an heir. Barney Northrup, he is the realtor that we meet at the very beginning who brings all of the tenants to Sunset Towers for their tour. He is not an heir. Julian R. Eastman is the current CEO, meaning Chief Executive Officer of Westing Paper Products. And E.J. Plum is Sam Westing's lawyer. J.J. Ford says he is inexperienced, so we're wondering why Sam Westing would choose an inexperienced lawyer for such a big job. That is it for all of the characters that we have so far. You will continue to learn more about them, but you really need to be making sure that you're making a connection between them and their partners and their clues. So I do have a bulletin board that I brought home with me, so I have to try to find a wall to put that on, and then I can take pictures and hang that up for you guys. Hopefully that helps clear up some things and what's happening so far in the story. Enjoy this week.